There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your favorite film podcast. I am one of your hosts, Trey, and I am joined today by my lovely, lovely co-host, Evan. Evan, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah.
Just got off work. The weather is beautiful finally. I mean,
Yeah?
it's sunny and blue skies, but it's 3 degrees.
God,
But
fuck that.
3 is like really nice right now.
Yeah.
I drove home.
God, that
I
sounds
didn't even
terrible.
wear a coat.
Oh
It
my
was great.
God.
Good shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. I finally got a job this week working at Chipotle, so
Hell yeah.
that's a W. I don't have to worry about money shit and getting a job shit anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Watching films. I started watching. I've been trying to watch TV shows more. You know, because when I started watching films, I kind of stopped watching TV shows. I was just like, all right, let's turn on another movie. So I picked up watching Suits this
Oh
week.
yeah.
It's kind of terrible, but it kind of bangs.
I've heard it's super cheesy.
It's really cheesy, but it's addicting.
My parents and my brother loved it, and they were like, "Watch it," and I was like, "I'm watching Succession, so no."
Dude, I need to get on Succession. I'm also picking up True Detective, the new season of True Detective.
I need to watch that.
Which it has very big, like John Carpenter.
Oh really?
Like The Thing vibes. That's pretty good
shit.
so far. I started
watch that now.
rewatching Silicon Valley. Have you ever seen Silicon Valley?
I've seen the first season because my girlfriend's a big fan of it, so we watched some of it together. It's really
dude,
funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
TJ Miller, I just watched this episode last night. It's like my favorite episode. Is the main character Richard is trying to get Adderall from like this 11-year-old, but then the 11-year-old tricks him and gives him like I don't know what he gives him. But then Richard comes back and the 11-year-old is like, "Fuck you, dude. Get the fuck out of here." And Richard's like, "Oh, geez, okay, I'm sorry." And then Ehrlich, played by TJ Miller, who is the most unhinged man on the face of the earth, comes out and just walks up to this and he's like, You just brought piss to a shit fight, and just full on slaps this 11-year-old. Oh my God, dude. It's so funny. But
yeah, watching TV is weird. I'm like obsessed with just logging movies.
Yep.
And then I'm like sinking 30 hours into a TV show for one log, and I'm literally brain rot. Like this is like I watched all of Twin Peaks.
Well, and some stuff you can't even log either. It's really only like limited series. I think I wish you could log the separate seasons of True Detective because that'd be good. They're all like their own stories, so I feel like that's kind of considered a limited series. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna start off today with our usual movie news. Biggest thing that's kind of been happening. The Oscars are getting a lot of backlash for not nominating Margot Robbie for Best Actress and not nominating Greta Gerwig for Best Director. So I'm going to pull up the Oscar nominations because I do have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, my big thought is the Greta Gerwig director nomination. Like, it's kind of crazy that everything is being sprung onto Greta Gerwig when they're not celebrating Justine Triet, who made a movie that France literally said no to putting out for international film because she like opposed the prime minister's political views or something like that.
Yeah.
Celebrate that. Celebrate Lily Gladstone, an indigenous woman who was about to give up acting, comes in.
Yeah.
Powerhouse performance.
The first ever indigenous woman to be even nominated for an award.
Yeah.
And I mean, also America Ferrera, nominated for Best Supporting Actress. And look, I get it. Like like Barbie was this super great cultural moment. Margot Robbie did a great job. Greta Gerwig did a great job.
Mhm.
And we're not, by leaving them out, they're not saying that they did a bad job. It's just there was a lot of competition this year for
Yeah,
both of those categories. And
I haven't seen Naiad yet, so I can't talk about that. But the other
yeah,
performances were really good. And
yeah,
like
I mean,
Barbie's nominated for Best Picture too. Like
yeah.
it's
So
getting its flowers.
I do think that it is like, I get where people are coming from,
Mhm.
but again, there was a lot of competition this
Yeah, the
last year.
Best
It was
Director category is so stacked.
yeah, it was a crazy year for film. So I think there is a lot of competition there.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I mean that's also kind of a pain because I feel like it's like downgrading the fact like Lily Gladstone and
Yeah.
America Ferrera both being nominated.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, for
um,
sure. I was at work when the Oscar nominations came out, and when I got back, I opened up TikTok, and it was just immediately Margot Robbie, Greta Gerwig TikToks, the whole For You page.
yeah, yeah. So that's been huge. Speaking of Barbie and Mattel, Mattel has announced that they are backing a live action Bob the Builder
Oh yeah.
movie. And wow, that is something that no one asked for. Um, I
You know what?
don't
Bob the
really.
Builder was my favorite show as a
Yeah,
kid,
it's
so I
they.
will watch this for sure.
It's just silly. It's silly. Let's see. What else did we get this week? What's his face from Rustin? Um,
Oh yeah, Coleman Domingo,
Coleman
Nat
Domingo
King
has been
Cole. That's gonna be sick.
as Nat King Cole. Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's a
about that.
it's about yeah, he will star as Nat King Cole.
I was gonna talk about. Well, that's cool. I was gonna talk about the announcement that he will be playing Michael Jackson's father,
Oh
Joe
yeah,
Jackson, in the Michael Jackson biopic. Who Coleman
that's
Domingo
sick.
has been nominated for Best Actor this
Yeah,
year at the Oscars for his role in Rustin, which I have not seen yet, but I will
I
be
gotta watch
watching.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. Let's see. Oh,
big
Chris
news.
Tennant re-releasing in theaters next month.
I'm
Uh,
praying it comes here.
yeah, I'm
I
definitely going to
fucking
see
love
that
Tenet.
because I haven't even seen Tenant, so I think I'm gonna
What?
wait. No,
Oh
yeah, I
my
know.
god.
I haven't even seen it, and I think I'm gonna wait until it re-releases so I can go see
Yeah,
it in the theater.
I saw Tenet 5 times in theaters.
Are you
It's so good.
serious?
It's so sick. I love Tenet, bro. I think I've seen
Yeah.
it 8 times total. We need to talk about the Dune 2 popcorn bucket. Cause what the
What
fuck?
about it?
You
I
haven't?
haven't
Have you
seen it.
seen it?
No.
Hold on, let me send it to you really quick. I gotta open up. Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. I love collecting those popcorn buckets. I don't know what like big theater you have near you, but we have
Yeah, we have
like
Cineplex. They do it there.
Cineplex. Okay.
Here, okay.
I go to Regal
Right.
usually.
Go check
Let's see
that out on
this.
Discord.
Holy hell, that shit is amazing. Here, I'm gonna download this.
That's begging for.
Um, and I'm gonna try to put this up on our screen so people watching you can see this. Let's see here. Let's see if I can do this. We're still trying to figure out how to use this like format. Let's see. But yeah, it's
It looks like
basically
a flashlight.
it really does.
Yeah, it's the worm mouth.
Uh, yeah, this is. Let's see if I can change. Nope, don't want to do that. Maybe this. No, no. Well, let's see if I
Oh,
can
here
do
we go. Hold
this.
on.
Can you figure it out? We're trying to figure this out as you are listening to this podcast. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Let's see if I can open this. I'm gonna put it up in the right hand corner, people. If you can go look at this. It is up in the right hand corner. That is the collectible popcorn bucket for Dune
I think
2.
it's gonna cost like $50.
Yeah, but guess what? I am gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
I can't
That's
even
so
imagine how
gross looking.
it's probably imagine sticking your hand in there and it's just like you're mid movie and it gets stuck in your. Ugh, it's just ridiculous.
God, dude, that's crazy.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
put it on a
so
shelf.
there's our Dune 2 bucket. I do like collecting those though.
Yeah.
I remember I like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, don't get me wrong, it had its problems. I enjoyed it. It's probably like a 2.5. I didn't hate it, but it also wasn't great. But the collectible popcorn bucket for it was Ant-Man's helmet, and then you flip it over and you
Oh,
can
that's
put
cool.
pop. Oh, it was pretty dope. I have the one for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy 2
Oh, nice.
on my shelf right now. Um, God, that is wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. God, that's so funny.
We got some pretty big news too from Deadline here. Knives Out 3 will be filming this year.
W.
Keep pumping these movies out. They're awesome.
Yeah, I know a lot of people hated on the second one, but I really enjoyed it.
I loved Glass Onion, dude. It was so fun.
Yeah. We got our first trailer for a few things this past week.
Yes.
We got our first trailer for Roadhouse, the remake of the 80s action classic with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Just guys being dudes.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? I think this looks pretty sick.
It looks fun. It looks cheesy and stupid, but I'm going to be watching it. And I'm sad that it's not coming to theaters. Let me watch it in theaters. I don't want to watch this at home. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. And we also got a trailer for, I believe it's called Immaculate, the new horror movie with Sydney Sweeney.
I haven't watched that trailer yet.
Yeah, this movie looks crazy. Directed by Michael Mohan, who I don't know what else he has done. It's produced by Neon, and they've done some pretty good stuff in recent years. So I don't know. I'm cautiously hopeful. Let's see what else is Michael. Oh, Michael Mohan did that one movie, The Voyeurs, with Sydney Sweeney and Justice Smith. Which all the pervs of the internet will know that movie.
I have not seen it.
But yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from this trailer, I think it looks all right. I'm looking forward to it. I trust Neon. They're a good production company. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. We just, 3 hours ago, got a trailer for a movie called Monkey Man. Did you watch this?
No.
This is directed by Dev Patel, sorry.
Yeah.
It is produced by Jordan Peele.
Oh,
and it looks like John Wick. Ultra violent, super stylized violence. The trailer is insane. I need to watch it. Yeah. Oh my god.
Man, that sounds kind of sick.
Yeah. It's coming out on April 5th. I didn't even I wish that they showed me this trailer earlier because it looks sick as hell.
Yeah. Let's see. New Chris Pratt sci-fi thriller in the works at Amazon following Tomorrow War success. What success are they talking about?
Success? Yeah, what the hell? That movie got reviewed.
There was no success for that movie. That movie wasn't good. Oh my
god.
Yeah,
what's the new one?
I don't even know what it's called. New sci-fi thriller. For Mercy. It's called Mercy.
I probably won't watch it, but who knows? Maybe I will. I watched Lift on Netflix for some reason, so.
Yeah, I don't know what you were doing there. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. There's been a lot of stuff this week. Argyle comes out this week.
From the
tonight,
twisted mind
I think.
Of Matthew Vaughn.
Love Matthew Vaughn.
Me too.
We get The Accountant 2 this
I am so excited for this.
Which I haven't even seen The Accountant, but I know
dude, it's
like
really good.
And
I like
I'm
it a lot.
looking forward to this. And this movie is endorsed by none other than Joey Swole, which is the most
Wait, really?
random thing I saw on Twitter this week. Yeah, I think it was on Discussing Films. They said they were like, yeah, The Accountant 2 will be releasing this year with Netflix, and Joey Swole was like the top comment. And he was like, "Oh, I love The Accountant 2. It's right up there with Salt for me." And it was it's just been like
Oh
screenshotted and
my god.
it's all around social media just because like Joey Swole, that's not someone you would expect to endorse
Yeah.
a movie, you know?
Did you did you see those Hillary Clinton memes?
No.
She tweeted or put it on Instagram something about Margot Robbie and
Yeah.
Greta Gerwig, and they changed
Oh,
it all over to like. I think
I
I
did see
saved one on my
this.
phone. God, it was really funny. Speaking of Matthew Vaughn, in big news, Matthew Vaughn will direct a musical written by Damien Chazelle. Huh?
Oh
Like,
God, that
yes.
yes to all things involved with that. Oh my God.
Yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. I'm very excited. I
Oh.
love Matthew Vaughn.
And
Layer Cake is
we
peak,
love Damien
and we
Chazelle.
love Damien Chazelle. Yeah. Shut Up Babylon. And all of his
Oh my
movies. But Shut Up
God.
Babylon.
La La Land. Yeah. So that's our movie news today. Come join us on Tuesday for more movie news. We're trying to keep you updated, keep you in the know. But today we are on the penultimate episode of our Stanley Kubrick deep dive. Yes, I used a big word. I'm very proud of myself too. So today we are talking about my number 2 favorite film of all time. Evan, I don't know where it lands for you, but
This is my number 2 Stanley Kubrick movie of all time. I
W.
love. Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually raised it.
this is I think the greatest horror movie ever made. Um, yeah, we're talking about none other than The Shining today. So little background on the film. So this is originally a book written by Stephen King, one of my favorite probably my favorite author. Um, who? Fun fact about this film: he actually didn't. He didn't like this film
Yeah, he hates
because
The Shining.
yeah, if you go and read the book, this movie is so much different than the book. But I do think it's better than the book. I think Kubrick
Have you read
does
the
an
book?
amazing job here. Yes, I have. So this movie came out in 1980. This was 5 years after Barry Lyndon. Stars Jack Nicholson at, I think, his best. I think this is easily his best role. Shelley
Yeah, it's this
Duvall.
or One Flew
Shelley
Over the Cuckoo's
Duvall,
Nest.
who is astounding in this. She is so good. Danny Lloyd, who gives one of the greatest child acting performances in the past 80 years. And Scatman Crothers, who is just an
The goat.
absolute Chad in this
Yeah.
movie. I mean, that bachelor, we'll get to that later, but that
Yeah.
bachelor pad that he has, woo! I want to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie came out in 1980. It made 623 million at the box office with like a budget of like 19 million.
Damn.
It was a huge hit. It didn't even get nominated for any Oscars.
Oh.
The only person that won was Scatman Crothers, Best Supporting Actor at the Saturn Awards. And
That's
Shelley
awesome.
Shelley Duvall was nominated for Worst Actress at the
That's
Golden
crazy.
Raspberry Awards. And Stanley Kubrick was nominated as Worst Director at the Golden Raspberry Awards, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this movie has, even to this day, is a massive hit. Um,
Yeah,
and it's a massive hit among the film community and just the like average moviegoer community. Um,
yeah, it's like a
and
household name.
yeah, everybody knows The Shining. Everybody knows the "Here's Johnny." Like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, let's get into it. Well, I think for today, I want to try something a little different. I just want to break this down from like the beginning to the end because I feel like there's so much to break down here. Um, yeah, are you cool with that, Evan?
Yeah, absolutely. Because our
So
first conversation is going to be about maybe one of the greatest songs for a movie ever made with
yeah,
the opening scene of this film.
yeah. So we open with a tracking shot, like an air out of a helicopter. Um, and you're tracking along this valley in these mountains, and you're tracking this car that is driving this yellow slug bug, which actually turns out to be Jack Torrance's, played by Jack Nicholson. His car as he's driving up to the Overlook Hotel. And as you said, Evan, this is probably one of the greatest intros to film ever.
Oh my god.
Um,
Boom, boom. Dude.
dude, and the music and the scale of the shot is just
Yeah.
so fucking impressive. um and I'm sure we'll continue to bring up the music in this
Yeah.
film.
One
um
thing I'm really curious, did you see this in theaters at any point?
no, I haven't. I had the chance to go see it in theaters when it's playing. They were playing it backwards and forwards at the same time.
Mm.
Because there's theories if you play it backwards and forwards at the same time, like layered on top of each other, some imageries will like match up and it'll like reveal more about what the movie is about. But no, I didn't stay for that part. I just stayed for the documentary Room 237, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
It's the biggest piece of
I
shit I've ever seen.
They played this at my like retro theater in October and I
Yeah.
wish I went. But I don't know if you've seen Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
Uh I saw that in theaters and it opens with the exact same song and I was like, oh god. It
Yeah.
just goes
It's
so hard.
It's amazing. And we follow Jack. He drives up to the Overlook Hotel. Um, Fun fact, the outside of the Overlook, all those shots on the outside of the Overlook Hotel were filmed at the. Um, oh, crap. Timberline Lodge, which is on Mount Hood, which is about an hour drive from me. So
Oh,
I've
sick.
I've been there. I've seen it. Seeing this movie kind of gives me bad vibes from it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the inside of the hotel is shot. I think it's somewhere in Colorado, some lodge in Colorado
That
that
makes
the
sense.
inside of it is shot in. But yeah, we open. Jack Torrance. We're introduced to this character. He is going to this hotel. He's interviewing for a position to basically be the caretaker of this hotel from the end of October to the end of May. So about 5 or 6 months. Um, so this is the only part of Room 237 I want to share about. They talk about in this film. So there this film this film had literally, in the most literal sense possible, has a cult following. People are obsessed with this movie and what it means. And so there are people who have drawn maps of the Overlook Hotel based on the shots, and they've kind of put together like where stuff is in the shots, and they've basically drawn a map of how things are layered in the Overlook Hotel. So we'd see Jack in this shot going down the hall, and then he takes a left and goes into the office of the hotel manager, right? And there's a window behind him. right? You remember that?
Yeah.
That window is impossible. There should not because of how the map of the hotel is layered, or is layered out, is that there should be wall behind that. There should not be it's impossible for there be a window there, which I've always found, especially after watching the documentary, I find so interesting. Because I don't think Kubrick makes mistakes. I think he was too smart to make dumb mistakes like that. So yeah, that is the first thing that's kind of off about this situation, is that there can't be a window there. It's impossible.
I kind of want to watch this movie because I like enjoying. It's funny to watch conspiracy theory nuts go off.
Yeah, there is some topics that they touch on that I could see agreeing with, and I'll bring up some of them later.
Yeah.
But most of it is bullshit. But like if you're like folding laundry or cooking dinner, it's a nice thing to have on in the background just to listen to.
Yeah.
So Jack has this interview. We learn that he was a school teacher, but now he's a writer. He has a wife and a kid, and we cut back to the Torrance's apartment, and this is where we get our first interaction with Tony. So creepy, by the way.
Creepy as fuck. Oh my God.
Where Danny's like, "Whoa, Tony, do you think Dad will get the job, Tony?" And he's like, "He already did. He'll be calling Mom in any minute." And then he calls Wendy, and he's like, "I got the job." And so first kind of little supernatural thing, and then we get the first flash from Danny, the shot of the elevator door opening and the blood just spilling out.
Iconic.
Such
Maybe
a crazy shot.
The most iconic scene in contention for most iconic ever. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's amazing. And then I don't know. It's just this film, man. It's so damn good. And I don't know. It means so much to me just because like I watched this movie. I was shown this movie. I'm 20 now. I was shown this movie when I was like 15. And
Same.
So I was at a point where I was really only into watching superhero movies, action movies. I was a dumb kid. And I had barely seen any rated R movies. And my dad was like, "You know what? We're watching The Shining tonight. Your mom and sister are gone. We're watching The Shining." And I was like, "Okay, sounds good."
Those moments are so good.
Yeah. And we watched it. And it like remained at number 1 for me for so like as my all-time favorite movie for so long, because I would even then, and that's what that's the thing I want to talk about, is that as a film fan, as like a person who analyzes films, there's so much to love here, from the cinematography to the score to even the trivia about the film, like the tracking shots that he uses behind Danny when he's riding his big wheel. This is the first time that was ever used in cinema history.
Really?
Like,
wow.
Yeah. That was like Stanley Kubrick's baby. But even as like just a casual moviegoer, this is an amazing movie. It's not like jump scare scary, but it is creepy. It is. Jack Nicholson gives off one of the most haunting and terrifying performances from one of the most terrifying performances from an actor ever.
Yeah. And like one thing I want to touch on is how well this movie is paced. It's a long movie.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
But you could show this to anybody. Sorry. and it just blows past.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like Stanley Kubrick does not have the most approachable movies. Most people
Hmm.
don't like his movies, but this one, it's like you said, you could
I
show it
think,
to somebody for fun. Like when my brother showed it to me when I was like 14, and I watched it, and the ending hit, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on or what to think, and I was like, that was cool as hell. And
yeah,
then watching it again, it's like just every time you watch it, you kind of just are in awe. You pick up a bit more. You appreciate it more. Yeah.
yeah. And there's so many little things to pick up that you're not going to pick up all of them the first watch. You know, like there is one thing. So there's a lot of like tiny little moments. Like you really have to be paying attention to catch it here, where Jack Nicholson will look into the camera for like a split
Oh,
second and then
really?
look back.
Hmm.
And at first he started doing it on an accident, but Stanley Kubrick was like, "Oh, this is kind of sick because it's gonna make the audience feel like he's coming after them next." And so he let him keep doing it. So there are instances where like he'll look into the camera and just like
Dude, I'm about to
it's
watch The Shining again today.
it's so good. Um all right, where does this rank among your Jack Nicholson performances?
It's probably tied with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest because they're very well. The movies are very different vibes. The
Mhm.
characters are both crazy. Um, it's probably like acting wise, this is number one, but I love the character of McMurphy in One
Yeah.
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
He's so fucking funny. So it's
Mhm.
hard. They're very different movies, so like that's why I kind of have them at the same level for
Yeah.
different categories. What
Yeah.
about you?
I love One Flew Over. I think it's amazing. I think he does a great job in that film, but I think this is like top 5 performances in any movie ever.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, he is amazing here. Um, like just that he's not like it's hard to catch it. He gets more obviously insane as the movie goes on. But even from the beginning, you're like, there's something off with this guy.
Yeah.
There's just like Jack Nicholson was just able to get this look in his eyes where it was just like nothing, just
Yeah.
nothing, um, which I think is unbelievable. Um, but then we get those scenes of just pure insanity. Like when he's following Wendy up the stairs
Oh my
and he's like,
god.
Wendy, darling, light of my life,
Not gonna
I'm
hurt
not going
you.
to hurt
I'm
you.
just gonna bash your
Bash
fucking
your
brains in.
brains in. Bash them right the fuck in.
Oh my
It's,
god. It's
God, dude,
so good.
it's so good.
His enunciation is just insane. It's so like it just pops.
Yeah, he really killed it here, and that transfers me into another thing I want to talk about. This filming experience because it's been talked about a lot about this uh, about this set, specifically pertaining to Shelley Duvall, um, who again
Yes.
I just want to say this because she gets so much hate for this role. She is astounding here. She is
Yeah.
so good at playing that terrified, innocent wife. I mean, oh, God, dude, she is amazing. But there are stories told about this set that Stanley Kubrick kept things a certain way that made it probably one of the most stressful sets to ever work on. Um,
Yeah, he's a perfectionist to say the least when it comes to filming movies.
yeah.
I was
Um,
looking through the trivia. I think the there was one shot. I think it was 147 takes or something insane like that.
mhm.
Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, this movie has the Guinness Book of World Records for most takes. The scene where Wendy is backing up the stairs swinging the baseball bat was shot 127 times.
God, dude.
Oh, however, the both Steadicam operator Garrett Brown and assistant editor say this is inaccurate. Oh, it's a
But
lot.
yeah, I mean, even you look at Shelley Duvall's career after this, and just like her life, and
Yeah.
it really just I mean, she was huge in the 70s. Um, and she did like a couple movies after this, a few in the 80s and like one in the 90s, but then after that um she kind of goes downhill, to be honest. Um and uh it yeah, it's sad because of this movie set. Um because it's also like she was in Annie Hall in 77. She was in Nashville. She was in Three Women, Macabre and Miss Miller. I mean, she's in some great stuff from the 70s. Um, and it's just sad because, like, it's talked about, like, Kubrick, I kept this set. He wanted it, like, freezing all the
Hmm.
time.
Yeah.
He constantly was putting his actors under duress, and just crazy sets. And I think this is something me and Jagger talked about a few months back, and I want to get your opinion on. I can't remember what we were talking about it with. What movie we were talking about? We might have just been talking about The Shining. I don't know. But we were talking about like Stanley Kubrick, like obviously not a great dude for putting all of his actors through this terrible, terrible experience. But out of it came this piece of media that that has lived on for the past 40 years and probably will live on for the next 40 years as one of the greatest things to ever be made. So at the end of the day, do you think that it's worth, like, he's like, I know I'm putting you through all these terrible things, but we are making one of the greatest pieces of media ever made. Do you think that that's like worth it?
Yeah, it's a weird question because like you think I don't know about you, but I think about this a lot where an actor's reading a script or something and they're like they can tell if a movie's good or bad while they make it.
Mm-hmm.
And like Stanley Kubrick's trying to maybe explain like get I have the juice, don't you worry. Like this is gonna suck, but it'll be peak. And I'm
I'm
curious
sure.
like
I'm
what
sure
the
those are the words he used too.
yeah. Yeah. Let me cook. This is what he said to Shelley Duvall. It's a curious, it's like a really interesting thought that do you think they knew how good it was going to be and like if Stanley Kubrick got his vision across to them or if it stayed in his head, because if they knew what would come out of it, then yeah, it's probably worth it. They like knew what they signed up on. But if Kubrick's this locked up person, I mean, it's he's a
Mm-hmm.
mystery man, and we'll never know a lot
Yeah.
about him. But in my eyes, there's probably a world where he was like, "Just trust me," and didn't really tell them a whole lot about this movie because it has a lot of secrecy and hidden themes and all this shit.
Yeah.
So it's tough because there's probably a level of like just them not really knowing what's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I'd love to pick Jack Nicholson's brain about this movie.
Yeah,
Imagine if we got Jack Nicholson on the pod.
yeah.
Holy fuck.
Retired from movies, but he'll come on,
Our
come hang out.
podcast.
Yeah, he'll come hang out.
That'd be so cool. Just to be like, so, Mr. Nicholson, how is it being like what is he, like a three-time Oscar winner?
3 Oscars.
How is it being a three-time Oscar winner? Um, that's one of my favorite interview moments. Kevin McCarthy who I've always talked about as I would, if I'm ever a filmmaker, I don't want to do a bunch of interviews, but he is the person I would
He's
let
so
interview
good.
me. He asks a fucking bet. I would love to get him on this podcast. Kevin
Yeah.
McCarthy is the fucking goat, dude. But he asked, he was interviewing like Denzel, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto.
Oh
And he's
yeah.
like, he asked him, he's like, so I'm sitting here today with 3 Oscar winners. Where do you guys keep your Oscars? And Rami Malek and Jared Leto were both like, just on my shelf. And Denzel he's like, right next to the other 2. Uh, and it's like the most badass answer
That's
about that.
amazing. Oh my god. Oh my god.
But back to The Shining.
Yeah, we got sidetracked there.
Yeah. Performances are amazing. The score is unbelievable. Cinematography is just
the tracking
crazy.
shots are nuts.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk more. Go ahead.
I wanted to point out one of my favorite shots that I didn't realize was one of my favorite shots until I watched it again last night. It's the shot where Jack is hacking the axe into the bathroom door.
Yeah.
And it follows him. The camera
Dude, that's
moves.
exactly what I was going to say.
My God.
It's crazy, the tracking shots
I'll
on the
be honest, Evan. I'll be honest. That shot makes me erect.
Yeah, it is
so good.
Yeah, that is legit the exact same scene I was going to say.
Oh my God. It's so satisfying to watch it track him. Oh
God. And it because the axe goes overhead and the camera kind of goes up a bit too. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my
Stanley
God.
Kubrick just cooking.
It's so effective. It's like he keeps swinging and then it cuts to the inside the bathroom and I'm like, no, go back and show me more tracking shots. I want to see it.
So the main theme we've talked about with Kubrick is him pushing the envelope of what can be done with a film. So obviously he revolutionized cinematography here with the tracking shot, which we just talked about. But up to this point, this is a horror film. This is a horror movie. I think it has a lot of drama elements. I think it has a lot of thriller elements. But at its core, this is a horror movie.
Absolutely.
And up to this point, horror, there was not a lot of this. This kind of started that subgenre of horror, of the kind of elevated horror that's very slow and has deep themes and
very psychological.
Yeah. This kind of powerhouse that and pioneered that genre. Because up to this point, your horror movies were gore fests, which I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I love that. You got your TCMs, your Halloweens, your Black Christmases, The Exorcist. But those are all we are going to fucking scare you and with these gory, graphic, practical effects. But this wasn't trying to do that. This is, we're going to build a creepy atmosphere and make you feel fucking unsettled for 2.5 hours. So again, Stanley Kubrick pushing the envelope, man, doing what hasn't been done. Mm-hmm. He doesn't stop doing it. We'll talk about next week with Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut.
With Eyes Wide Shut, we're gonna talk about it.
Eyes Wide Shut, otherwise known as 1999: A Sex Odyssey.
Oh my God,
it's my favorite review I've seen of that movie.
That's awesome.
But yeah, this movie's unbelievable. Do you have a favorite scene here? Because I have one that with every watch, it becomes more and more my favorite.
It's the whole, from the moment not Nancy, I don't know why I said that. From when Wendy finds the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Oh,
and and all, just that whole follow-up from that is thrilling. It you can't, your eyes are glued to the screen. You don't even want to blink.
Yeah. For me, it's that interaction between him and Delbert Grady in the bathroom. Or sorry, Alex's dad from A Clockwork Orange. apparently. No, that entire conversation, it makes my skin crawl. It's
Yeah.
so, and the color scheme of the bathroom is just so perfect. And I can't remember who plays what his name is, who plays Delbert Grady. Let's see, Philip Stone, that's his name. He plays Delbert Grady. um, Plays the dad in A Clockwork Orange, and plays Graham in Barry Lyndon. Has worked with Stanley Kubrick a good amount. Uh, but yeah, that scene, it makes my skin crawl. It makes me not feel good because he's talking about correcting his wife and kids when you know that means like him chopping them up with an axe. And it's just, oh god, I feel like that's where the movie kind of like takes a turn, like is like, okay, now we're like, it's gonna be like just pedal to the metal for the rest of the time. So that's my favorite. um
All the scenes with the
let's
bartender are phenomenal too.
Oh yeah, how you doing, Lloyd? You're the best bartender around. um yeah. And let's talk about, before we go, I mean, one of the last things I want to talk about, the ending. I
Yeah.
still don't. I have watched this movie 8 times. I still don't understand. I don't know. Um,
I am the exact same way, and also I don't particularly care to try and figure it out.
yeah.
I don't think it's meant to be dwelled upon, like, to get to the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
To me at least anyway. The first time I saw this movie, like I said, I just kind of I went to sleep and thought about it all day. What the hell's going on? What is all this? And I
Yeah.
maybe that's what Kubrick was trying to go for, because I mean it's a crazy ending, and that shot of Jack Nicholson smiling in the painting is haunting, absolutely haunting. Uh,
Yeah.
but and also like right before that, the shot of him frozen to death will never cease to creep me out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like the Blair Witch Project when the dude's standing in the corner shot and Jack frozen. Those two give me the heebies. Like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What do you think of the ending besides like
Dude, I honestly, um, I have no idea.
do they go into it in 237?
They kind of do, but not really.
Yeah.
I don't, I enjoy it so much, and I don't want to try to like make it this huge deal. I just want to enjoy it as the greatest horror movie ever made. And I think there's stuff that I will never understand about it, because again, Kubrick was a he was a weird dude. Um he was a genius, and uh he was very secretive. And I think there's we can sit around all day and talk about we can talk about like, oh, maybe this means that, or oh, this means that, or this means that, you know. But I don't think anybody will ever be able to fully find the truth
Yeah.
inside of a Stanley Kubrick movie of what it means, why he made certain decisions. I think the only person to know is Stanley Kubrick.
It kind of reminds me, and if I mean, at some point we'll probably do a David Lynch rundown, but he's
Mm-hmm.
famously said that nobody has ever successfully given his correct interpretation of Eraserhead.
Hmm.
There's interpretations out there that people like and that are common, but he's said nobody sees it as he does, which is really interesting. And I think The Shining kind of falls into that too, where it's just
Yeah.
like there's masses that will agree on meanings or things like that, but we'll never really know. and that's kind
Yeah.
of cool. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a masterpiece of film. It's go check it out.
Yeah,
I don't
we
think it's
didn't
really
really succeed at going scene by
streaming.
scene. We couldn't.
No, we didn't.
We just
I
yeah
can't do that.
yeah.
We tried
It's
and we
on
failed.
Crave in Canada.
Okay, yeah, you have to rent it down here. But it's worth it. Go
One more
watch it.
scene I want to touch on
Yeah.
is when Good Man Scatman gets the old axe in his chest and Danny
Holy
tweaks the
cow.
fuck out and the score spikes. Scared the shit out of me as a kid. It still creeps me out. The look in Danny's face is so petrifying, and the score is just like piercing your ears. Like Kubrick really uses the score to his advantage here to creep you out with all this already creepy imagery. It's just like reinforcing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Yeah. It's so
yeah,
good.
this it's so good. I love it.
Go. Don't rent this movie. Just buy
Just
it.
buy it. Yeah,
Just buy it. It's perfect.
yeah.
It's immaculate. Um. Yeah. Next week, next Friday, we will be reviewing
Full
shit. What are
Metal
we doing?
Jacket
Full Metal Jacket and Eyes
and
Wide
Eyes Wide
Shut,
Shut.
and we will be joined hopefully by the one and the only Jagger Nelson for a reunion episode. And on Tuesday, we will be joined by my brother-in-law AJ Fossmark for our review of Platoon.
I'm excited for this. I want to watch it.
So make
The only
sure
thing I
to check out those. What were you gonna say, Evans?
the only thing I know from Platoon is the shot that's on the cover, and also like the remake of that scene in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, I've never even seen Tropic Thunder.
You haven't seen Tropic Thunder?
Yeah, no, I know. Don't
Dude,
give me
it's
a
my
hard time
favorite
about it.
comedy of all time.
Yeah,
It's
everybody's.
perfect. It's so
I
funny.
know.
That and Borat, but Tropic Thunder is like up here.
Yeah, Borat's peak. All right, you want to tell us the limited things you've been watching this week?
Yeah.
I'll go through mine.
I watched Ferrari. I went in with really low expectations to this movie.
Yeah.
It kind of banged a lot. It was really good. It's not super emotionally hooking for me, but Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari is insane. Oh my god, his performance is so good. Like I was glued to the screen when he was there, and I really liked Penelope Cruz. She was great too. Shailene Woodley was the worst part of this movie because her accent was it was there and then gone mid sentence. It was really weird. It just would come and go. The racing scenes are great. The sound design is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got a crash scene in it near the end that is bonkers. Really, really crazy, super gory. Yeah, great scene. Yeah, go watch it. I actually have this higher than Thief.
Mm-hmm.
I gave Thief a 4. I gave this a 4.5, low 4.5. But yeah, I really liked it. Surprised me a lot. And then I watched Peter Griffin seeks fitness advice from Meow Schools, which
W.
was they put it back on Letterboxd, so I had to log it again. And I'm gonna skip over that. I'll talk about it in a sec. Then I watched this like short film thing. So, the there's a the Radiohead has a like side project with Tom York, the singer, and Johnny Greenwood, the guitar player, called The Smile. They have a new album, came out today, and they did this thing where they played the album plus like some music videos, and then Tom York's solo album has a short film that's in like accompanied by it's on Netflix, and the short film is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. It's like 15 minutes long. It's really cool. So they played a bunch of that shit in theaters. Really cool. Yeah, I love Tom York. That's my goat. Now I'm gonna talk about Twin Peaks for a couple minutes. I had heard that Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, the movie, it's a prequel to the show, was one of the greatest horror movies ever made. It was terrifying, and I was like, shit, I need to watch this. And it was on the Criterion channel, the streaming service. So I was like,
Yeah.
one day I'll watch it, but I can't because it spoils. It's like it's a prequel, but you need to see the show because the
Yeah.
plot of Twin Peaks is who killed Laura Palmer, and the movie's about Laura Palmer in the days leading up to her death.
Okay.
So it's really, really cool. I'll touch on the movie in a sec. I just want to talk about the show a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I blasted through season 2 this week. It's a long season. It has the first 9 episodes are really, really peak, and then they kick David Lynch out of the show, and there's a solid 7 episodes that are full filler, very melodramatic bullshit. I knew about this, so I skipped them and watched a recap of them on YouTube. So I was
W.
like, I don't want to ruin my enjoyment of the show.
Yeah.
So I skipped them because episode 9 is insane. One of my favorite episodes of TV ever, and then episode 10 is when the filler starts. So
Mm-hmm.
skip that shit. The last 4 episodes are kind of mid, like from the end of the filler to the finale. 2 of them are pretty mid, and then the last 2 episodes are peak. The last episode is fucking nuts. The last 30 minutes is
Yeah.
incomprehensible. Can't understand it. It's weird. People are talking backwards. Like it's just really weird. But it's David Lynch goodness. The movie is sublime. Oh my god, it's so good. It's Twin
Yeah.
Peaks with all of the amazing weirdness, none of the filler. It's not a TV show, so David Lynch is unhinged from TV show rating boards. So it's got lots of sex and it shows more gore. It's just kind of free from the chains that he was locked on.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing is immaculate. This is 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it feels faster than some of the bad episodes of Twin Peaks. It's an amazing companion piece to the show that made me want to start the show again, honestly.
Yeah.
And Laura Palmer's she's not in the show because I mean she's dead. The 2 hours you spend with her are insane. The character development, you know her from the show just from reading stuff, but seeing her is amazing. It was such a good movie. It's my number 2 David Lynch project film, right behind Mulholland Drive. So yeah, it's definitely worth watching Twin Peaks to see this
Oh
movie.
yeah.
And then
Oh
I
yeah.
watched The Shining. So my week was a 4.5 and then 3 5 stars. So pretty good.
Pretty good week.
Yeah.
This week I watched Castle Freak, which is a '90s B-reel horror movie directed by Stuart Gordon, who also directed Reanimator, which is one of my
Oh
all-time
yeah.
favorite horror movies. Just an absolute blast.
That's
Castle
sick.
Freak, it was pretty good. It was fun. It was cheesy. It was a good time. Would recommend streaming on
Nice.
Tubi.
Oh, shout out
Um,
Tubi.
go
Sponsor
to
us.
Tubi. Love Tubi. And then watch Bride Wars. I've been trying to follow the shuffle my watch list and just choosing whatever's at top, you know? So sometimes I get shit like this.
I've seen
Uh,
Bride Wars.
it's fine. Two
Yeah.
stars. It's really just okay. My review says, what does my review say? If the phrase "Hey, I know that white person" was a movie, um, yeah,
Yeah, I gave it
it's
2.5 stars.
yeah,
I didn't even.
it's fine. Um,
Oh, my review says girls scare me.
how long ago was that?
I watched that on September 11th.
Jeez, what a way to celebrate
I know.
9/11.
God damn.
But Kate Hudson is smoking.
Yes.
Let's see. So is Anne Hathaway. Whew. Then I watched the Spiderwick Chronicles. Gave it a rewatch for the first time since I was 8.
Yeah.
That was considered god tier cinema when I was as a kid, and it still kind of holds up. Shit's a blast, dude. Freddie Highmore just absolutely cooking when I was a kid.
I love Freddie Highmore, bro. He was in my favorite movie when I was a kid.
What movie?
August Rush.
Oh, I've never seen that. I thought you were gonna say Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No, my other thing he was in was The Water Horse. You ever seen The Water Horse?
No.
Oh my god, it's crazy.
I'm gonna go look at his filmography right now. Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Golden Compass. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
That movie goes crazy.
Yeah.
August Rush. He was an Astro Boy.
Oh, really?
Dude, Astro Boy cooked, man. He was in the Arthur movies. God, he really was in so many movies when we were a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a goat. And now he's in that one where he plays the autistic doctor, right?
I am a surgeon.
Oh God. And then I watched Road to Perdition, a Sam Mendes
People
movie.
are not happy with your review of this.
I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I was really bored most of the time. And yeah, it just wasn't for me. Do you have the? What do you? Do you like that movie?
I haven't seen it. This is the one with Tom Hanks, right? It's a gangster movie.
Yeah, and it's fine. Paul Newman's in it, Jude Law, and Daniel Craig, and
Oh.
Stanley Tucci.
Ooh.
So I had high hopes.
The goat, Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, love the Tooch. He's literally one of the most delightful people on the face of this earth. I don't know why I'd called him the Tooch, but
I'm gonna call him that too.
yeah, the Tooch, man. And then I watched probably my favorite first time watch of this week. Yes, my favorite first time watch of this week. Brian De Palma's Snake Eyes.
Dude, I own this movie. I got a Nicolas Cage pack thing from Walmart, and I haven't watched it yet.
I feel like Nicolas Cage shines when he can just be as eccentric and weird as possible. He isn't really that good when he can't just be Nicolas Cage. If you just let him do his thing, it is a guaranteed good time. This is just a cheesy ass action movie that has goofy dialogue, goofy performances. You got Nick Cage, Gary Sinise is in it.
Nice.
Carla Gugino is in it.
Oh, W,
love her. You got John Hurd is in it. Just a pretty stacked cast. Luis Guzman makes an appearance.
Oh, go.
It's goofy, it's fun, and I love it.
I did not know that was Brian De Palma who made that.
Yeah, it is wild. You're a number cruncher. Just stick to crunching the numbers.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that for sure.
It's so good. And then after that, I watched Noah Baumbach's Greenberg with Ben Stiller and Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig's in that?
Yeah. Was it last week we were talking about how you love just slice of life cinema?
Yes.
Yeah. Check this out then. It's a nice little piece of slice of life. It's a drama, a little bit of a character study. I enjoyed it a lot. I think Noah Baumbach does a really good job of telling these really understated, very human stories.
Yeah. I fucking love Noah Baumbach, bro. Have you seen Frances Ha?
Yeah, I have. That movie's peak.
I love Frances Ha.
Yeah, that's a great film.
I've watched it like 3 times in the last year. It's so good.
But yeah, this is really good. Ben Stiller, great, gives a great performance per usual. Greta Gerwig is great. Rhys Ifans is in it, and he's great. We get appearances from Jennifer Jason Leigh, Chris Messina, Mark Duplass, Brie Larson, Juno Temple. Yeah, it was a delight. It was a good time.
I'm gonna watch that for sure. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is very good. Streaming on Netflix. And then yesterday I watched Bambi for the first time. Don't really understand the 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, but okay. It's cute. It's nothing more than that. It's fine, you know.
Have you seen The Long Goodbye?
With who?
It's a crime noir from the 70s.
No.
I got it in the Real Talk raffle. I was curious if you've seen it. It's Elliot Gould.
I love Elliot Gould.
Oh, really?
God, he's the fucking goat, dude. He plays he's in all the Oceans movies. And he plays like their rich benefactor.
Oh, yeah.
He's also Ross's dad in Friends, and he is one of the shining lights of that TV show. He is so funny. I love Elliot Gould. He's a
Maybe we'll
fucking
do a
goat,
watch party
dude.
for it.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
And then I watched Annabelle, part of the Conjuring universe.
Are you
That
doing a
was
run through of it?
no, but it can't. It can't again. Top of my watch list. So that was terrible. It was pretty terrible. It was very, very, very terrible. Not
Yeah.
good in
Go
any
watch the
sense.
other two Annabelle movies because they're way better.
Really?
Annabelle Creation is a fantastic time. It is so fun.
Oh hell yeah.
It's
Okay.
actually good. It's
David.
made by
Oh, the same guy that did the Shazam movies and
yeah,
Lights
David
Out.
S. Yeah, it's well, yeah, Lights Out.
Oh, there's a Lights Out too.
There
Oh
is.
god, that movie was such shit, but it scared me so
Wait, really?
bad.
I like Lights Out.
Oh yeah, I mean it's terrible. It's
No,
like
I think
really,
it's like actually good. I'm not gonna lie.
but I had a good time with it. You know, I think it's definitely scared the living shit out
Yeah.
of me, because I'm already as scared of the dark. Like, did you used to do that thing with when you were a
Bloody Mary.
kid where like you'd go in your room to go to bed and you'd turn off your light and then you'd sprint to your bed
Yeah.
as fast as you could so the monsters didn't grab your ankles?
Dude, when I come up from the basement, for like all time sprint up there if the lights were off.
You want to know something really weird that I used to do?
Yes.
I used to think if I flushed the toilet, it would like I used to have nightmares of flushing the toilet and then it like flooding the bathroom and me drowning in the bathroom because I couldn't get the door open.
Oh, God.
So I used to flush my parents told me they'd hear me go to the bathroom, flush the toilet, and then me just sprinting out of the bathroom and then going to wash my hands in the kitchen. They just hear me peeing and then
That's so funny.
yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been watching recently. I don't know what I'm gonna get to this week. Maybe me and Evan talked about doing a John Wick 2 watch party
Yes.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna try to watch more Silicon Valley.
I want to watch How to Blow Up a Pipeline. I want to check that out.
Oh yeah, I've been needing to check that out. I don't know. I want to watch. I don't know. I'm so pissed because I feel like I've watched all the mainstream horror movies from like the 2010s, and I'm like, oh, what should I watch? Maybe a mainstream horror movie from the 2010s. And I'm
Have
like,
you
nope,
seen
that one.
the Ouija sequel?
I've seen both of those, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Because Mike Flanagan did one of them.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, watch Annabelle Creation. It's pretty fun.
Okay. Sounds good.
I saw it in a sold-out theater full of like 14, 15-year-olds that were very immature, and there's a scene where somebody gets hit by a car and dies, but their boot lands on the screen or just like on the road perfectly up, and somebody screamed out, "What are those?" out loud, like loud in the theater. It was so fucking funny, dude. Oh my god. Bunch of meme lords in the theater. It was crazy.
That is one. Before we get out of here, there was when Across the Spider-Verse, there was when Across the Spider-Verse came out, there was a video circulating the internet, and there was a theater full of people opening night, and the scene where spoilers for Across the Spider-Verse, if you haven't seen one of the most popular animated movies to come out in recent memory, the scene where Miles like unzips his jacket at the end and is like, "Mom, I'm Spider-Man." Some guy goes, "Wait, he's black?" And the whole theater started dying. And the best part about it is like a week later, another video came up of a kid doing it.
Oh god.
But the guy who did it right, his delivery was so good. He sounded genuinely surprised. He was like, "Wait, he's black?" And everybody was like dying. And then this kid, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So he was already chuckling to himself. And I don't think there was that many people in the theater either. And he goes, "Wait, he's black, and like nobody laughed, and there was like one person who was like, dude, shut up.
God.
It was so funny. That was one of my favorite memes of last
I gotta
year.
search. I've seen the first video. I gotta search up that second one.
Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, join us next week for our review of Platoon on Tuesday with my
Yeah.
brother-in-law AJ.
Also expect a review of The Zone of Interest, which I will be seeing in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that. So yeah, I'll
Yeah,
come talk
check
about it.
out that next Friday. We will be concluding our Kubrick deep dive with our reviews of Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut with the one, the only Jagger Nelson. And
Yeah.
then
We'll probably drop a survey or something in the next week.
yeah,
So that we
I'll
can
put it.
figure
Well,
out our.
I'll make a survey before I drop this episode. So
Yeah.
we will have a survey in the link here. We will. There will be 5 directors on there. So click that survey. Vote for which director you would like to see us do a deep dive next. There will be. We'll do anywhere from 5 to 8 options. And whoever has the most votes, that's the next director we will do. And again, and then the next Tuesday after Platoon, we will be reviewing Rocky, which I've never seen. So I'm looking forward to that. And then that Friday, we'll be doing whatever director you guys have chosen for us. We'll be doing their first few films. So again, thank you for joining us today. If you want to find us on our social media, I'm Trey the Film Noob, basically everywhere, and Evan is Evan0567 on Letterboxd. Please subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Like our video. Share our content with your friends, please. We love the support from all of you. Comment down below what your favorite horror movie is. And if you're listening on Spotify, please leave us a review, follow us so you can be updated on when we release episodes. And if you want some Average Film Enjoyer merch, go to afepod.com. That is where you can find all of our merch. So thank you for joining us today on this journey. And we will see you on Tuesday for our review of Platoon.